It's not. At least he puts a person out to everybody in the crowd in Snooker to get him out of the auditorium because with the bloody mobile phones going on all the time. So
yeah, that's what we need. More firm refereeing. I'd like to see people getting tasered if their phones go off. You'd soon see people put them onto airplane mode then. Did you ever have run-ins, Stephen, with referees, or were you a bit too much of a sort of were you more of a teacher's pet figure?
I wasn't an arguer with refs, I must admit. And as I said, back in the day, the likes of John Williams, John Street, Len Ganley, you didn't argue with these. If they said it was a miss, it was a miss. And they said like the ball's there. Len Ganley said like, no, the ball's there, son. Play it. The ball's there, son. And you'd like, okay, I'll play it. So it's like referees now, I don't think maybe have. There's one or two, but they don't have quite, I think, the authority that they had in the sort of good old days.
Yeah, those were real figures.
Yeah, I think sometimes when I watched a snooker years ago, as you said, the people you just mentioned, then Stephen, you knew all the refs, if you know what I'm saying, because there was a smaller pool. Whereas now, obviously, I went to Wales. There's a couple of female refs, obviously, that they're doing, a couple of other guys, and then every time you see the games on the TV, even watching the stuff this week in Northern Ireland on Eurosport and stuff, that I don't recognise any of them. It seems to be a different person every week. Obviously, the pool's a lot bigger. I get that because there's obviously more tournaments around the world now. Whereas years ago, it was pretty home based, wasn't it? Years ago, so I kind of understand that. But there's no, how should we say, no continuity between them all because they're all different in what they do, aren't they?
Yeah.
Stephen, you hinted you'd change a couple of rules in snooker. Is there anything in particular you got in mind?
I think I'd like to see some tournaments where when the frame's mathematically won, it's over. One of the things that really annoys me,
one of your pet peeves, isn't it? When people
oh my God, you get 15, 20 minutes of playing for snookers, and it's like just. And I'm sure the TV people don't like it because, I mean, I'd love to know the figure over a 17 days of the World Championship, how much time is wasted with people playing for snookers. Now, I don't mind if you play for one snooker, that's fair enough. But 4 or 5 snookers, and as commentators, we're saying, oh my God, we're praying for them to pot that ball to win the frame completely.
Next time I see Selby trying to chase down... Next time I see Selby trying to chase down 4 or 5 snookers, I'm going to have a mental image of you just like sneaking out of the commentary box.
Well, you can tell because I go quiet all of a sudden. I don't have a lot to say these things, these situations.
It's funny that before we started doing this, I always assumed it was just the tension and you were concentrating on the tactics, but it turns out you just can't be asked. But when it gets to that stage,
but to be fair, Stephen, the snooker players now they're a lot more skillful. They can do a lot more, can't they? What they could do 15, 20 years ago by trying to get out.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Thanks very much.
You mean when Stephen was good?
Yeah, but they can't they? They can control the cue ball a lot better now than what they could do way back. So I kind of understand in a way why they're going. And that was no disrespect to you, by the way, Stephen.
No, I totally agree because at the matches that I play now, the safety play of these players I'm playing, even in qualifying rounds, it's just improved so much in the last, as you say, last 15 to 20 years. It's incredible. So yeah, I mean, back in the day, nobody would win a frame needing a snooker hardly. It would hardly ever happen. Now you see frames 1, 2, 3 snookers. But as I say, it's not the kind of snooker I like to watch. But it's part of the game.
It's not when it's 10:30, 11 o'clock at night and you think, so come on, just win the frame. I want to go to bed and play another half an hour.
Anyway, I'm glad you said it, Mike, because it wouldn't be an episode of the Snooker Club unless we undermined Stephen's career in some way. Normally he does it himself.